Raiders do to Brady what they already did to Mahomes. We're on the lookout for a high-scoring shootout, a low-scoring shutout, and one surprising blowout. You want to know who wins, and you want to know how. We've got you covered with score predictions, stat projections, and a winning fantasy formula, too. This is your official viewer's guide to Week 7. This is NFL Total Access. Welcome to NFL Total Access. I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz. The Friday squad with me tonight, Michael Robinson, David Carr, and James Jones. They're here. They're ready to go. Settle in. Hang with us for the next hour as we get you ready for the Week 7 slate. But first, we start with a developing story. Ian Rappaport joining us now. And Ian, you've got some news on Antonio Brown. What is the latest there?
The long-awaited wait for Antonio Brown to finally sign with the team is on the verge of coming to a close. Sources say that the big-name free agent, the biggest name free agent still available, is flying to Tampa tonight. My understanding is a deal between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Antonio Brown is very close to happening. The two sides are working toward a deal. It is progressing. They are comfortable with where the numbers are, and if there are no snags, if all goes well, Antonio Brown is expected to join Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And of course, for the Bucs, who already have a hugely stacked offense, this is just another weapon to add in. You know, for Antonio Brown, this ends a situation where he has been suspended. He obviously has been waiting to join a team. He's been trying to make his case that he is a different man than he was when he originally got suspended. And now that is expected to be in Tampa Bay. Of course, Seattle had been discussing him for some time, really since the summer, but Tom Brady pushing helped make this happen for Antonio Brown. And MJ, just to go through the timeline a little bit for where things stand, AB is flying to Tampa tonight. He begins COVID-19 protocol and testing. That should start tomorrow, so he's not going to be able to officially enter the building, or wouldn't be able to enter the building till the middle of the week, but he's suspended, so that may not happen anyway. Either way, based on where things stand right now, he should be in a Bucs uniform, ready to play by Week 9 when the suspension ends.
Ian Rappaport, thank you. And since you mentioned the timeline, I want to take everyone through the timeline of this whole saga. So here's Antonio Brown's timeline since September of 2019. So September 7th, I was there in Alameda outside of the Raiders facility when he was released by the Silver and Black. September 20th, 2019, he was released from the Patriots after they nabbed him from the Raiders squad. July 31st of 2020, of course, he was suspended for 8 games of this season, 2020, multiple violations there of the NFL personal conduct policy. All right, let's bring in David Carr and James Jones. This is, of course, still developing, but just your initial thoughts as the Bucs seem to be closing in on this deal. David, I'll start with you.
Well, MJ, it's a complicated situation. You hope that Antonio Brown is feeling physically healthy, mentally healthy, and that he's able to go out and just play football. Because honestly, when he signed with the Raiders, there wasn't a bigger fan or a person that was more excited to have him than my brother Derek. And the way he works, what he gives to you on the field, he's a tireless worker. He's the best receiver in football when he's healthy, and that's what you get. The problem is the stuff that kind of happened off the field, on the sidelines, the interaction with the front office, the head coach, the coaching staff, all that stuff weighs on a team. And this is the ultimate team game. And you can grab a great player and make your team better. You can also grab a player, and if you have issues, you end up releasing him. Bill Belichick has done it. John Gruden has done it. I don't know if they're going to be any different with Bruce Arians. Maybe he can do something different. Maybe the Tom Brady connection. Maybe Antonio has learned a lot being out of game for so long. I mean, he obviously loves the game. So you have to realize if you want to play this game, it is a privilege. It's not a right. And for him to get back into it, maybe he's in a better headspace.
You touched on all of it, DC, off the field. But listen, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are getting a Hall of Fame wide receiver. And if he could keep his mind right, and if he could come out here and play football the way we know that he can play football, they just got the best receiver, like you said, DC, in the National Football League. Antonio Brown on their team to go with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. This offense with Antonio Brown on the field, if his head is clean, and we know he's going to be in shape, is the best receiver in football, and this offense is going to be dynamic, man. Tampa Bay is going to be a problem if they can make sure they can keep Antonio Brown on this football field and happy. It is going to be a dangerous sight to see. And I'm over here shaking my head because, oh, my goodness, I don't know what's about to happen.
Buckle up for sure. And DC, you mentioned the Tom Brady connection there. He also has the Bruce Arians connection there. Bruce was, of course, the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh in Brown's first 2 seasons in the NFL. All right, guys, we'll check with you in just a bit.
Here we go. Throws over the middle, intercepted. Touchdown, Minka. Little Minka magic can do today.
Tannehill looking, throwing, complete. Brown in the end zone.
Oh, that is Chase Claypool into the end zone for a Pittsburgh Steelers touchdown. And then kind of knew it. Conner gets the block on the flank inside the 10, inside the 5. Touchdown, James Conner.
40, 30, 20, 15, end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, 94 yards.
David Carr joining me now. Steelers Titans, that is our NFL Total Access game of the week. What are 3 things the Steelers need to do to remain unbeaten here?
Well, when you go against the Titans, it's very simple. It's very basic. It's downhill football with Derrick Henry, and you have to stop the run. So you can either do that with physical force or an extra player. If you do that with physical force and your front 7 is legit, you can do that. But if you got to bring another guy down there to tackle him, now you're in one-on-one situations. If you put yourself in one-on-one situations, Derrick Henry, yes, he can run the football, but they got a guy with A.J. Brown who is healthy now that he can go out there, and he's been starting to really come on. And he was a big part of their offense last year, big plays down the field, and if he's in one-on-one situations, he's going to win the majority of those. So you got to really have a plan for him and focus on what he's going to do. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, you have a piece also. You got Chase Claypool, and now he's a guy that you can move inside, you can move outside, you can hand him the football, you can utilize him as a matchup guy. You can kind of put him outside, use him as a wide receiver, he can block, he's physical at the point of attack. It's really something that you can take advantage of if you're Ben Roethlisberger in this offense and really understand what coverage they're going to play early. I mean, you give a guy, a veteran quarterback like Ben, this type of player, and then also give him the answers to the test before the snap based on how they play Chase. Now you're in a pretty good position if you're Pittsburgh. It's going to be a great football game.
All right, David, I tossed and turned in picking this game. I'm going to hold that for a little later in the show. But who do you have winning this one?
When I look at it, I think that obviously the Tennessee Titans are a legit football team, but I have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers here. I have to go, and it's going to be tight. It's going to be really close, down to the wire, but I think they just make too many plays, and Chase Claypool coming on is going to help Juju, it's going to help Ben, and that defense is just too good.
All right, fair enough. I like it. All right, David, thank you. But let's give you something else to chew on here. Former Titans running back and member of the 2,000-yard club, Chris Johnson, he recently tweeted out that the Titans have the best running backs in NFL history. So our research and social departments put something pretty cool together here. We need your input, though. So go to @NFL Research on Twitter to vote on which franchise has the best running backs in NFL history. Your choices: Titans, Bears, or Cowboys. We'll reveal the winner later on in the show.
Russ takes the shotgun snap, looks, fires a shot inside, reaching out, making a catch, touchdown, Seahawks! Snap to Murray, drops back to throw, looking deep, airing it out, middle of the field, he's got Kirk, it's caught at the 40, Kirk at the 30, an 80-yard strike. Russell, look out, he's going to fire inside, reaching up, making a catch, does he hang on? He does! Perfect pass by Russ. Hand off, no, he keeps it, running left, and Kyler Murray is in for the touchdown. Back in Texas, and some Monday Night Magic for Murray.
So Seahawks at Cardinals now move to primetime for Sunday Night Football this week. Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. Man, I love this matchup. But pay attention. I'm talking to you, young up-and-coming Kyler, because Russ has the second most wins by a quarterback in his first 9 seasons in NFL history. He's behind only Peyton Manning. All right, Emrab and James Jones with me. Now, this game is now under the lights, gentlemen. Russell Wilson versus Kyler Murray. Emrab, will the young gun be able to keep up with your former QB?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, you look at the way that this kid is running the football. I'm looking squarely at the way that he runs the football. I don't know if there is a player, forget quarterback, but a player in the National Football League that accelerates faster than Kyler Murray. Now, both of these quarterbacks, Russell Wilson included, are movement types of quarterbacks. I love these guys. Russell moves to throw the football and just get down. Kyler moves to try to go 80. You see what I'm saying? To try to go 80 yards and get a touchdown. He outruns angles. He's going to have to use his legs to get some of those sneaky yards, to get some of those first downs when the coverage dictates it. But I'm telling you, this kid can fly. I look forward to a high-scoring game.
All right, two top receivers in this one, DK Metcalf and D-Hop. James, which one will have the better game Sunday night?
Well, y'all put me on the spot right here, man, because these is two special wide receivers. But I got to go with D-Hop. And the reason why I'm going with D-Hop, we know that D-Hop is going to get his targets. Fresh off the bus, they are looking for Hopkins. They are trying to find ways to get the ball into his hands. And I feel like he has the better matchup with secondary-wise. I don't know if the Seattle Seahawks have a guy in the back end that can really match up with Hopkins on the outside. So he is probably going to have his way. I like the Arizona Cardinals secondary, Patrick Peterson, Fitzpatrick. You got Buda Baker down there. So they're going to make it hard on Metcalf to be able to make some plays. I like Hopkins in this matchup. I think he's going to have a big game.
All right. Well, guys, I want you to hold on to those picks because we're going to use those in Upset Alert a little later in the show. And speaking of upsets, let's take a look at our standings through Week 7 here on NFL Total Access. Now, while the guys argue over upset alerts and all, look who's crushing the game in the NFL Total Access pick board. Yep, I am in the lead, fellas, 60-25. M-Rob behind me, 53-32. All right, David Carr, I see you 52-33. On your heels, M-Rob, James Jones. We got to catch up, my friend. All right, let's see if you guys can pull away or catch up to me, if you will. Time for more game picks. And James and David, first game, Browns at Bengals. James, who you got?
Listen, I love everything JoJo Burrow is doing over there, man, and Joe Mixon, but I'm going with the Brownies, man. The Brownies running the football, play action pass. I like the Browns in this game. 34-21, they bring it home.
Yeah, I agree. I think that run game can get going, and Baker doesn't have to be in obvious passing situations. This offense is going to roll. I also love what Joe Burrow is doing. I just don't think they have enough. 27-24.
All right, I have the Browns 37-21, so it sounds a little familiar there. I just think the way that they've been flowing, it's going to keep going. Next one, Lions at Falcons, James Jones.
Listen, I don't know if you guys watched the game last week, but these Dirty Birds, these Falcons playing the Vikings had it going. And I'm saying that continues. Fresh new juice in there with the interim head coach. I'm saying they find a way to get it done. They beat the Lions 34-24.
I'm going to say what happened last week was a little bit of, interim head coach, maybe some things that you weren't really prepared for. I'm going to say the Lions win this football game because Matt Stafford, you know him. You know he's got the ability to throw it sidearm, underarm, wherever he needs to do, make a play. He's going to do it this week and find a way to win.
All right, I'm picking the Lions 29-28. Don't forget that the Lions are in a super competitive division. Their losses came against the Bears, the Packers, and the Saints. They've been in it. Don't sleep on them. I've got the Lions. All right, but their opponents will have a short week. You can watch the Falcons next Thursday when Matt Ryan leads Atlanta into Carolina to battle Teddy Bridgewater and the Panthers. Falcons-Panthers, it's Thursday Night Football, 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. Coming up next on NFL Total Access. You sensing a shootout in that Bucs and Raiders game? Yeah, we are too. But who takes it and how? We put together a winning formula for your fantasy team, who to sit, who to start, and what to expect from a few guys you're just not sure about this week. Will anyone score in that Dallas-Washington game? Will anyone stop scoring in that Packers-Texans game? And who are we putting on Upset Alert? Game picks and score predictions for every remaining Week 7 game still to come on NFL Total Access.
Brady lofts it. Gronkowski. He's got it for the touchdown.
Carr on 2nd and 6. Downfield. Connection made with Aguilar. Touchdown, Raiders.
Brady pumps and throws. Back shoulder for Evans. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Carr throws end zone, dive, touchdown, Raiders.
David Carr and James Jones back with me, guys. Bucs Raiders was moved from Sunday night to Sunday afternoon because of COVID concerns for the Raiders. The offensive line looks like it will be back, but not star safety Jonathan Abrams, who will not clear the protocol period in time for the game. So taking all that into account, David, what's your matchup to watch in this game?
Well, two good football teams. I think it comes down to, obviously, when the Raiders offense is on the field, I pay great attention. But when the Bucs defense is on the field, I think they're the best unit on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Todd Bowles blitzes, 46% of the time or 40% of the time, which puts him in the top 5 in the league. That means they generate pressure by bringing pressure. And Derek last year was the #1 quarterback in the league at striking against pressure. 96 quarterback rating overall. So for me, I think that's what it comes down to. When the Bucs bring heat, can they make a big play? And I think that's what they've been doing, throughout the entire time that Derek's been there and that John has been there. When they get that pressure, they look at it as an opportunity to make a play down the field. Usually when teams sit back and play coverage is when you'll get a little bit more of the run. John will kind of want to control the clock. But I think that if they do decide to heat it up, Derek's going to have no answer but to go down the field and try to make a big play.
Well, first and foremost, they need to understand who's on the football field offensively for the Raiders. Because if you want to bring some pressure and you're leaving that speed out there one-on-one in Henry Ruggs and Nelson Aguilar, you could be in trouble. But listen, Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the advantage on the offensive side of the ball when it comes to the Raiders' back end. And no Jonathan Abram. That really scares me because how are they going to hold up with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans? And my reason how they're going to hold up is you have to stay on the field, Derek Carr, and that offense, and you have to run the ball. The reason why they beat the Saints, they kept Drew Brees on the sideline. 7 possessions in that game because the O-line was moving people out the way. Josh Jacobs had it going. The special thing about the Raiders is that they can do both. You want to shoot out? We can shoot out with you. We can put up points, throw this thing all over the yard. You want to ground and pound, you want to make this thing nasty and ugly, we can do that as well with Josh Jacobs on the ground running behind this big old line. I want this game to be nasty and ugly. Keep Tom Brady and that offense on the sideline, eat up this clock, and finish with touchdowns. And that is the formula to win this ball game.
All right, let's pick it. Well, since David's going first, what's your score for the Raiders win this week, David?
I like 35-21. I obviously think their offense is rolling. They got Henry Ruggs out there, and he's been able to really change the dynamic of this offense. And then obviously we'll give Tom 21. That's fine.
Well, it's a special bond between brothers when you play with each other on the football field. So I'm gonna take my real brother, my young bro, Derek Carr, in this game as well, man. I like the Raiders in this ball game, and as you can see, I like them big. MJ, 37-17. I ain't playing.
Dang. All right. Well, I'm actually going Bucs 38-27. And listen, I love what I've seen from the Raiders so far this season. I really do. But with all the COVID issues this week, it's really giving me pause. So I'm going to take the Bucs. Tampa has a top overall offense. Actually, their defense ranks in the top of the league in nearly every major metric. I said it. Take it. All right, guys. Thanks. Let's get on to some game theory with Cynthia Freeland. Her multiple degrees showing out here, joining us to drop some knowledge. We've got some statements for you, Cyn. If you agree, you'll run with it. If you don't, you pass. So first up, we were just talking Bucs Raiders. As you heard, 80 rush yards for Ronald Jones.
So I think you're going to be another game up on those guys, but I'm actually going to pass on this one. Why? In all this COVID news, Leonard Fournette has quietly returned to the team. So while the run game will be an important factor in this one, because I do have the Bucs winning this game, I don't necessarily think it's going to be all for Ronald Jones. So for me, 80 rush yards is just a little bit too many.
All right, next, another running back. 70 rush yards for Todd Gurley versus Lions.
Okay, so I think Raheem Morris said that stats are for losers, so he should probably listen to this one. I do have a run on this one. I do think Todd Gurley will get 70 rush yards, but I think they're going to be using him because they're going to have some more issues in terms of how are they going to score. So I do think Todd Gurley in this game has more than 70 rush yards, but I think you and I also agree on who wins this game.
I think so too. All right, last one, 70 receiving yards for Robbie Anderson versus the Saints.
Okay, I'm also going to run with this one. If you look to see what the Saints defense has given up in terms of passing yards to opposing quarterbacks and where they are lined up when they do so, it seems as though 70 receiving yards could be a good number. Why? Because Robbie Anderson lines up in all of the places that they've shown vulnerabilities. So this is a situation where Robbie Anderson will be a great factor for Teddy Bridgewater and this offense to stay competitive and keep it close.
All right, Cynthia, thanks. And keep your Skype on because we're coming back in a few with you and some game projection. But now it's time for the Real Mike Robb Report. Michael Robinson, this is a must-win game for both the Patriots and the 49ers. Jimmy G returning to Foxborough. What will you be looking for from both of these QBs on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm going to start off with Jimmy G. I'm looking at how he gets the ball out of his hands. You know, he had that ankle injury. It's his right ankle. It's his plant foot. And that's how you protect that ankle. Get the ball out of your hands. Check out the video right here. Get the ball to these playmaking receivers that you have. He has about 128 or something like that passer rating when he gets the ball out of his hands in 2.5 seconds or less. Because Kyle Shanahan knows how to out-leverage a defense. He knows how to protect the quarterback, and Jimmy G knows exactly where to put the football in zone defenses. You see it right here again, getting the ball out of his hands, protecting that right ankle, because when you sit back on that right foot, that's when you can hurt it. That's when people can fall into it. That's when a lot of things can happen. And then when you look at Cam Newton, man, I mean, he's not getting the explosive passes that we saw a little earlier in the season. I know that the New England Patriots, they aren't the same as they were on the outside. They really aren't that, that fast on the outside. They're not going to just go out there and just burn you on the outside. So they need Cam Newton to run the football, but I'm concerned he's running the football a little bit too much. 11 carries per game. I mean, check this out. Lamar Jackson runs the ball only 8 times per game. So I just think Cam Newton may be running it too much, and maybe he has to get back to being explosive in the passing game. And I think this New England Patriots offense will be okay.
All right, fair enough. But I want to hit you quickly on Lev Bell and the impact that he could have on Sunday when the Chiefs face the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, he just got there, right? And then he had the ankle injury when he was with the New York Jets. I think they're going to use him sparingly. I think they're going to use him, put him in positions where he can be successful, right? Outside zone, inside zone. It's going to be a lot more moving parts around these run plays. But yeah, give Le'Veon Bell the football. Let him run the football. I don't expect to see him too much in the passing game, at least not right now. Definitely, as he learns the offense, he'll get even more into the passing game, but it could get exciting.
All right, I hope you guys are paying attention to the real Mike Rappaport treat. M-Rub, thank you. And we've got you covered on Sunday here on NFL Network. At 9 a.m., we start off your day with NFL Game Day Morning. 1 p.m. Eastern, it's NFL Game Day Live. What follows? NFL Game Day Highlights. That's at 7:30 Eastern. And we wrap it up with NFL Game Day Final at 11:30. They lost their starting QB, and now there are reports the coaching staff might be losing the locker room. After the break on NFL Total Access, is the Cowboys' next loss to Washington? A developing story. Ian Rappaport reporting that Antonio Brown is expected to sign a deal with the Bucs. He's in Tampa this evening to begin his COVID-19 protocol and is expected to sign with the team at the beginning of next week and could play by the beginning of Week 9. Stay with NFL Network and NFL.com for the latest. Let's remind you what happened Thursday night. Giants at Eagles. Third quarter, Giants ball trailing 10-7. First and 10. Daniel Jones gets outside and has a wide open path to the end zone. All right, turn those engines on. Oh, wait. Nope. Trips up at the Eagles 8. You think his friends, his teammates were going to let him live it down? Nope. Laughing it up. Fourth quarter, Eagles ball trailing 21-16. 46 seconds left. Carson Wentz hits Boston Scott for the 18-yard touchdowns. Eagles go on to win by 1 point, 22-21. It's the 8th straight win versus the Giants. So this is what it looks like in the NFC East. With that win, the Eagles take the top spot in that division with a record of 2-4-1. The Giants, they drop down to last place at 1-6. Time now for the bucket list presented by KFC. So Michael Robinson, David Carr with us. Now let's check this game off of the bucket list, guys. Cowboys at Washington. So what a week for Dallas, right? I mean, it was just a whole mess. Jane Slater reporting that the players were unhappy with what was going on with the coaching staff. But, M-Rob, who really needs to step up for the Cowboys in this one?
Yeah, let's make no bones about it, right? This team is led by Ezekiel Elliott right now. He needs to step up. Come on, man. 5 fumbles, 4 of them lost. It's not like you're not running the football well, right? You're seeing it well. You're picking your holes well. You're averaging over 4 yards a carry. But, bro, hold on to the football. A lot of this is just, trying to do too much, lack of focus. I mean, in running back rooms, we pride ourselves on not turning the football over because we're the only position when we get the football, we're behind the line of scrimmage and all 11 defenders are coming at you. So you pride yourself on holding on to the football, and Ezekiel Elliott is just not getting it done right now. So just holding on to the football, doing what the line is blocked for it to do. Just get whatever you can out of the runs and you'll be fine, man. But it starts with holding on to the football.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't give the other team the football. Hang on to it, control the clock, and then just do the elementary things. And what we'll show you right here, a picture's worth 1,000 words, because we talked about the offensive line and how they struggled. But when you look at it, it is elementary. 4-man rush, and you're bringing one more guy. Center and right guard, get out there. You have to bump over. Now, I know you guys didn't have preseason. You didn't have time to work. You guys, but, I mean, Andy Dalton, I'm just thankful he hung on to that football. Now, this is the next football play. The next play, Andy Dalton, veteran quarterback, you know, he steps in there, just got his bell rung, and now you got a 4-man rush. The pocket still collapses around you, but look at this guy's capable of standing in the phone booth and delivering a strike. Ends up picking a big first down up right here, and they're able to continue that drive. That's what they got to do. But what happens is if you put something on film, other teams are going to do it. Here is the Washington football team now bringing the exact same blitz. A little bit of a stunt, a little bit of a game. Philadelphia messes it up. Okay, so you're going to get this same thing. You know, count it. When you show up out there, they're going to do the exact same thing that you showed that you couldn't handle last week. You better have an answer for it. You better hang on to the football or know how to pick that up.
Oh, okay, David, I hear you. But who wins this one? Who you got, David?
I still believe that they'll be able to fix those problems because it wasn't a physical thing. It was more of a mental breakdown. I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this football game. They have a better team. They're more talented. And I think that if you just give them time, you give them protection, Andy Dalton can make it work, and Zeke will hang on to the football. I'll go 21-10.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys winning this game too, 24-14. I mean, the Washington football team, they only rushed the ball for about 82 yards a game, man. You can't win many games if you can't control the line of scrimmage offensively. So yeah, I got Dallas winning this one. Too talented.
Okay, make it a three-peat. I have the Cowboys as well, 27-14. I think everything that's happened this week, they are due for a win. If anything is going to get those guys right, it's the motivation to prove people wrong. All right, guys, thank you. Let's get to James Jones now for some quick-hitting topics. Man, I love these old-school pictures of James. They're not that old school, though, James. All right, your boy Aaron Rodgers just got a little humbled last week against the Bucs, but what's the key to bouncing back versus the Texans?
MJ, we all been humbled before. It happens. It's part of life. All Aaron Rodgers has to do is be Aaron Rodgers. Listen, he's a special quarterback. He's shown that he's a special quarterback this season. Not only being a 2-time MVP, but this season he shows that he's playing football at a high level. All he has to do is go out there and be him. Nobody else. Go out there, be you, do you, and they will not be able to stop you. And that is period. So I'm not worried about him. He's not the first quarterback to throw an interception. He won't be the last quarterback to throw an interception. It happened. Do you, 12. That's it. Simple.
Listen, I know about eating some humble pie. I got it. Now, you led the NFL in receiving touchdowns back in 2012. Who's your wide receiver one heading into Sunday?
My wide receiver one is it's a receiver who a lot of people don't even think is a one, and that is Allen Robinson. Listen, Allen Robinson is an absolute baller. Anything that these top receivers in the National Football League can do, he can do. He is special out there at wide receiver, man. They throw it to him all over the field. Matt Nagy does a great job of creating plays for him to have some success, but this is what he does. He's a yak master. He goes up, attacks the football, and every time the ball goes his way when I'm watching the football game, I believe a play is going to be made. That's just the type of confidence I have in him. I never even played with him, so I know the quarterbacks have confidence in him. So I'm looking forward to him having a big game against a very good corner out there in Ramsey, but I'm liking Allen Robinson this week.
JJ, listen, Allen Robinson has been a steady starter on my fantasy roster every week. That is exactly why. Thanks, James. All right, time now for the Pepsi Rookie of the Week. Let's keep it in the NFC North because it's Vikings. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson is your Pepsi Rookie of the Week. He had 166 yards and 2 touchdowns last week versus Atlanta. But check this out. Jefferson has 537 receiving yards this season, which leads all rookies. And it's the most by a Vikings player in their first 6 games of their career, breaking Randy Moss's record of 527 yards in 1998. Unreal. All right, let's get to some notable injuries from Week 7. We'll start with QB Sam Darnold. He is questionable this week with a shoulder. D-Hop has an ankle. He's questionable as well as running back Aaron Jones with a hamstring. Joe Mixon has a foot. He is out. Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Thomas for the Saints, both out. Here we go. We will have a lot more coming up on NFL Total Access after the break. Score predictions for the Steelers and Titans, the Seahawks and Cardinals, the Panthers and the Saints. And if you're looking for an upset pick or two, you're in the right place. Let's go.
The Super Bowl champions, the unstoppable Super Bowl champions, they get slowed down this week by the Los Angeles Chargers.
It is good! Harrison Butker, money, money, money!
I like Deshaun Watson and these Texans going to get this game.
And that's the ball game. The Pittsburgh Steelers remain undefeated.
I am taking Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Matt Ryan. I am taking them to upset my Packers this weekend.
Packers get to the bye with a 30-16 victory over the Atlanta Falcons.
Man, I love the Philadelphia Eagles in this game.
You know, just because you say it's going to happen don't mean it's going to happen, right?
And that'll do it. Steelers winning the Battle of Pennsylvania 38-29 over the Eagles.
The teams you're putting on upset alerts, they're obviously watching you. They're trying to make you look bad, bruh. Those are called receipts,
James,
guys.
dog.
Receipts.
Bro.
Oh, man.
See, I thought you was just doing that for the camera, man. You really believe in these picks, man? What?
Hey, man, I believe them with every bone in my body, man. It's all good at Abbott.
You sounded
I'm so
like
grateful. I'm so
You
grateful
sounded
for
like
that
you did.
montage.
Yeah,
I'm
I
grateful
love
for
it,
James
though.
Jones and his upset alert picks. Let's do it again, guys. First up, upset alert time. Steelers at Titans. James, to the honors.
I'm taking the Tennessee Titans in this game. I mean, and I don't even really think it's an upset, but hey, upset alert. Tennessee Titans, man, listen, they're just finding ways to win ball games. I know both these teams are undefeated, but when it's ugly, Tennessee is just finding ways to win. I like them in this game. Mike Robb, you looking like you're going against
You know what, James? No, I mean, look, I agree with you. Tennessee, they are a formidable team. But Ben Roethlisberger's back. You know that, right? I think it'll be close. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers get this one out 28-27. Yeah, the Titans, they're scrappy. But I'm telling you, man, the Steelers, they're explosive.
Maybe I'll bring you a little bit of luck, JJ, because I'm also going Titans. 32-30. All right, next game.
Yeah.
Seahawks at Cardinals. James, who you got?
I got Kyler Murray and the Cardinals in this game, man. I really believe when Russell looks on the field and he sees Kyler Murray out there, he's really looking at himself because Kyler Murray can run it, he can throw it. And not only that, the reason why Russ is so dangerous running it, Mike Robb, because he picks the perfect time to run. So does Kyler Murray. Upset alert, Cardinals. Take control of this game, win this game. I like them in this game.
Hey, look, man, I get the comparison because, you know, they run the football a little bit. But don't you ever compare a Super Bowl winning quarterback and Russell Wilson and probably the MVP of 2020. Don't compare him to an old second-year quarterback, okay? Man, the Seahawks going to win this game. It's going to be high scoring. I got it 30-24. I'm not saying Kyler isn't good, but you talk about Russell, first name Russell, last name Wilson. Come on, man. It's dangerous, man.
And we're back. I'm also going Seahawks. I think it's going to be one of those last-minute, close call games. Seahawks take it, though, 36-35 in my book. Last one, Panthers at Saints. James, who wins?
Teddy Bridgewater. The Carolina Panthers win this ball game. Listen, Teddy Bridgewater is playing football, and he's been winning games without the best player on their football team in Christian McCaffrey. The Saints are down, people. They are down Emmanuel Sanders. You're down Michael Thomas. They already couldn't do nothing with just Michael Thomas out. Now Emmanuel Sanders out. I'm not a believer in Drew Brees that can rally these troops right now with what he has out there on that field and win this game. I like Teddy Bridgewater, Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, James, I agree with you, man. Matt Rule got this team fired up. Teddy Bridgewater's playing and completing over 70% of his passes. And you know what? Hey, look, man, I don't even think it's an upset with all the injuries you talking about. I don't think it's an upset. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, look, the Panthers playing good football, man. Don't be laughing. This ain't gonna be no real upset.
I hear you. I hear you. I love it.
I'm on a lonely island here, but this is why I'm in the lead in the standings. I'm sticking with the Saints, 32-21. Here's why. I get it. Half the roster is gone, but Alvin Kamara, y'all, and my fantasy roster is also going to suffer just like the Saints without Emmanuel Sanders, but they're going to lean on Jared Cook this game. You just wait and see. All right, guys, thank you. Let's go no huddle with David Carr. All right, David, let's hope James Jones gets at least one of these upsets right. I picked with him, so he probably will. Now, you're giving us your top 3 QBs matchups heading into Sunday, starting with Jimmy G and
starting with Jimmy Garoppolo and Cam Newton, because, I mean, why not? It's Bill Belichick's ex-quarterback that he shipped across country. Now they're going to play each other. There's some history with Kyle Shanahan and playing against these guys as well. So I think Cam Newton is going to get back in stride after being out for a little while with the COVID issue. And then I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have a good game. So number 2 for me is Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. How do you not pick Russell and Kyler? Because basically it's these two guys against everybody. You know, they're going to run the football, they're going to throw, take shots down the field. They're basically mirror images of each other. Just so much fun to watch. And then the last one, of course, is Tom Brady, Derek Carr. You got John Gruden trying to get his revenge because of the tuck rule. You got Derek out there slinging it around with the Raiders, who are hot and they're rolling. I mean, this has got storylines all over the place, but then it's also 2 really good football teams playing against each other. Don't miss this one.
How did I know that was going to be your top QB matchup, David? No, but there is a lot of drama leading up to this game, and I do think it's going to be very intense. David, thanks. All right, listen up, fantasy owners. Time for some fantasy advice presented by FedEx. So we've got the players you need to start and sit, courtesy of NFL Fantasy Live's Adam Rank. Here's who you're starting. You're going to start QB Matthew Stafford against the Falcons, Ronald Jones against the Raiders, and OBJ at the Bengals. But here's who you need to sit this week. Drew Brees versus the Panthers. Ouch. Also Chase Edmonds versus the Seahawks and Robert Woods versus the Bears. All right, it's not enough to know who is going to win an NFL game. You want to know how. Will it be a shootout, a blowout, maybe even a shutout? 3 games, 3 answers after the break.
Starting with NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. GCP. Derrick Henry has been a one-man game-changing play machine.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the king.
This week, he's Pittsburgh's problem. Ahead of this Monster Sunday matinee, we raise the steel curtain, if you will, on the unique friendship between Steelers stars T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree. Plus, is it reunion week or revenge week? Jimmy G heads to New England to try to beat Bill Belichick. Teddy B heads back to New Orleans, looking to outduel Drew Brees. And John Gruden welcomes the Bucs and Tom Brady to town. We'll dissect all those juicy storylines and much more on NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9 a.m.
Cynthia Freeland's on Game Day morning. It's also time for Game Theory. I told you she would be back. Cynthia, let's get to some game projections in a segment we call higher score or lower score. So first up, Chiefs Broncos, higher or lower than 55 points?
55 is too high. I have 50 points projected in this one, a 10-point win for the Chiefs. This is going to be the Tyreek Hill. He didn't score a touchdown last week. That was the first time this entire season. That's going to be changed in this one. So I think a 50-point game total in this one.
Okay, next, Browns Bengals, higher or lower than 50 points?
I have higher in this one. I have 27-24 in favor of the Browns. If you have shares of T. Higgins, you need to put him in. Put him in all formats because I think the Bengals keep this one closer. And I also think Odell Beckham Jr., nice touchdown in this one.
The last one, 49ers Patriots, higher or lower than 40 points?
I'm going to go with 24-21. That is higher than 40 points. I think you should see Julian Edelman reach the end zone in this one. And don't forget JaMychal Hasty. He's the running back you want to put in on the San Francisco 49ers side.
All right, this is my dad's favorite segment. Cynthia, thank you. And make sure you stay locked in for NFL Game Debut. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on NFL Network. All right, Cynthia predicts the Patriots will beat the 49ers on Sunday. If so, they are going to need their defensive captains, Jason and Devin McCourty, to lead the way. That's exactly what they've been doing off the field as well. The NFL Votes campaign was designed to educate eligible voters and encourage fans to vote. Jason and Devin are doing their part.
When you talk about voting, a lot of people sometimes think their vote doesn't matter. I've learned a lot with all our elected officials out there. Sometimes even like a district attorney, when people are getting charged with things, people get angry and they're mad. Why are they doing this? You get to vote for that elected official. So I just want to encourage everyone, go out there, use your voice to vote. You have some control. You can decide who runs and who makes decisions. And you can inspire the people behind us, the generation who've just turned 18, inspire them to vote and use their voice. As we watch and we see the things that are going on, let that inspire us to go out there and try to voice our change by doing it at the ballots. We all talk with our family, with our friends when things occur, and we say things need to be different and we want them to change. Well, now we have an opportunity to do that. And when we go out there and we use our right to vote, we give ourselves a chance to make change in our country and make change in our communities all around us. So you guys make sure you're registered and make sure when the day comes you get out there and you make your vote count. Don't waste time. Go vote.
The importance of voting is something Falcons GM Rich McKay spoke about earlier today on NFL Now. Both the Lions and Falcons teams plan on sending a message on Sunday.
To us, there's not a bigger right you have as an American than the right to vote. And we just want to encourage everybody to exercise that right. And that's what our players are doing this weekend. And it's cool that you get to do it with a team you're going to play against. It's cool that we get to do it with Detroit. Matt Stafford and Matt Ryan have a relationship. Their families have a relationship. And so just a really cool thing that you get to do it with somebody you're going to play a game with. And you got a common cause. In this case, is get out the vote.
After the break on NFL Total Access, if you think of every week in the NFL as a test, what we're about to give you is a cheat sheet. They're called Locks of the Week, and they're next.
Here comes Henry to the left with a stiff arm, throws a man down, and goes out of bounds at the 40. Josh Norman, get you some. Oh, my. Okay. He took him off of his feet. Josh Norman, that's Thanksgiving dinner right there for you.
All right, earlier in the show, we posed the question, which NFL franchise has the all-time best running backs? The Twitterverse has spoken, and the winner between the Titans, Bears, and Cowboys was the Chicago Bears with almost 55% of the vote. Those three guys were Matt Forte, Walter Payton, Gale Sayers, and Bronco Nagurski. 11,000 of you voted. We love to see that. Make sure you get out and vote on November 3rd. Rob, what do you think? Did they get it right?
Yeah, I think they got it right with the Chicago Bears. I mean, I didn't think it would be that wide of a victory over the Tennessee Titans. I mean, you have to take into account what Derrick Henry is doing right now. I mean, a guy to be that big, to be running through defenses the way that he's doing right now and to be affecting the way that this team wins and loses at this point is pretty amazing to see.
All right, good stuff. I love a good Twitter poll. All right, guys, let's get to Lock of the Week. You see it. We love it. Let's do it. Let's give the viewers what they want, our locks. Rob, I'm going to go with you first. What you got?
Yeah, I think Joe Burrow, he outduels, he outplays Baker Mayfield. See, one thing I see with Baker Mayfield on film is if you make him throw the football and he gets into a throwing fit with you, he does not create good plays, and I think more bad plays happen. I think Joe Burrow, he's doing his thing. I think he outduels him.
I like it. So when you look at the Russ and Kyler matchup, not only are they going to throw the ball over the yard, they're going to have more rushing yards than all the running backs combined on this field. So for me, it's going to be exciting to watch. You only got to watch two guys. Kick back, relax, and enjoy the show.
You're right. You only got to watch two guys. That's Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. They both will have over 100 yards this weekend against the Detroit Lions. They are going to go off. This offense has it going right now. I like their matchup. Both of them, 100 yards plus this weekend.
All right, I believe he's questionable, but still, I think Aaron Jones rushes for at least 100 yards versus the Texans. Listen, he is top 10 in the league in rushes per game, yards per attempt, and rushing touchdowns. Are you kidding me? And the Texans really just letting up a lot on defense there. So I think Aaron Jones is going to have another huge game. All right, that's it for us this week. For our entire crew here, for Rob, David Carr, and James Jones, I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz. We'll see you back here Monday, 7 Eastern, for more NFL Total Access. Have a great weekend. James, listen, I'm rooting for you for upset alert this week. I really am, my friend. You know I got you. It is? All right. I like it. That's the lock of the week. See you guys next week.